I do not hear you. Do you hear me? I don't hear you. Let's just see what the trouble is. I do not hear you, sir. My volume is up. Ooh. Let us see. Trying to see if this is on me, guys. I do not hear. What is this? There is no sound for me. I cannot hear you. I hear nothing. I tested the speakers and it had a little funny testing the speaker song that worked. Maybe I should try on my phone.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
All right, it's on my end. There's something going on crazy over here. Hold on 1 second. Let's try it again. All right, can you hear me?
Boom.
Yeah, something's going crazy on my end. All right, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna roll with this additional sound. All right, sorry about that, everybody on the technical side. All right, so Steve, I don't know how familiar you are with this story, but there's this. I'm gonna tee it up, and then we're just gonna discuss it. We're gonna talk about what you think about it. All right. So there's HGTV, which we all know about. That's the programming where they do a lot of home improvement, house flips. They have a bunch of different types of shows on there. We all get a little tips and things from there about how to decorate and how to design and all that kind of stuff. Well, HGTV, extremely popular. One of the shows that they had on there was Rehab Addict. And the star on there, her name is Nicole Curtis. Now, her show is already filmed for 2026. It was ready to start with the next season, and then abruptly it was canceled. And the reason it was canceled was because right before her first show was supposed to happen, I think it's the day before, somebody leaked a video of her using the N-word on set. Now, here's what she said. She always goes, but that's not what's in my heart. We don't really use that. I don't know where it came from. Oh no, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But what was a little curious about the situation is, as soon as it happened on the set, she was like, oh no. And she was like, cut that. Get that out of here. My fault, blah, 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 blah. And so some producer, some person was just sitting on this tape that was supposed to be cut. Because this happened last year. They were just sitting on it and decided right before the show was getting ready to air, let me throw this out here and ruin her whole game.
Yeah.
All right. So people understand, the big issue is she dropped it. She dropped the N-word. She's white. Maybe I need to put that out here. She's a white lady. Dropped the N-word. while filming. So something happened during filming where she just decided I'm gonna drop the N-word. She was not singing a song, so it wasn't like she was rapping a song and then just happened to just drop that part out there, which people swear that they do sometimes. So it's a lot of stuff involved in this.
Yeah.
But her show was canceled. HGTV was like, nah, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So, Steve, I'm gonna go with you first. First, do you think because they revealed that she dropped the N-word, she should have had her show canceled? What are your thoughts?
Well, yes. Yes. I wanted to say I would have liked to hear it, the context she used it in, and all of that, but still, like, there is no excuse. It's a lot of things, man, that we don't know when things like this happen. But one thing, you know, it was like I can't remember what comedian it was. But they were like, you know, you white people say the N-word at the house. You know, but the thing is, she wasn't at the house.
Right.
You know, like sometimes people get too comfortable. And when they're too comfortable, you know, their inner being comes out. And sometimes they don't want it to. It happens with all of us.
Right.
You know, I remember this is a good example of that. Like, I mean, it's the climate. The climate nowadays. I mean, you know what happened last week with the Trump thing, with him posting the video of our beloved former first lady and president, with their heads on monkeys, on apes.
Right.
Like, come on, like that's blatant racism. Like, and like I'm trying to still figure out who voted for this guy.
Right.
You know, and we're in a climate where people are so free to do these things with no consequence. So I applaud HGTV because number one, I love HGTV. Listen, my decor, you know, is some HGTV-ish things in here. Like I learned, you know, like all kinds of things, like do-it-yourself stuff. Like I was, you know, when I was buying my house, I was always looking at home. What's the name when they're looking for houses? Home
House Hunters.
House Hunters, yeah, House Hunters. The lottery show when the people won the lottery, they're buying a new. I watch it. When the brothers, one of my favorite shows, Flip or Flop. It's just what's the other show with when they're finding the house, the dude and the lady. That's my favorite show. But anyway, like it had the HGTV has an audience that is extremely diverse. And you know, I applaud them so much because, like, no, we're not having that. I don't even care what context you used it in. Cut that? No, I'm not cutting it. We're gonna cut you. Because the climate at this time shouldn't allow for those things where the climate does in some certain situations it does allow it, and we gotta cut it out, man. We gotta cut it out.
Well, let me ask you this: does it? And I think from your answer, you're saying no, but people oftentimes say, like you said, context matters. Is it different that she used the word versus using it at somebody? Because we know, all right, if it was a black person, you call them the N-word. Okay, that's a terrible situation. But if you just, you know, some person, it just slip out, you're just sitting here, and you might have been talking about somebody. You're like, man, I hate when these N-words be, you know, throwing trash all over the place, or something like, you know what I'm saying? So does it make a difference that you didn't say it to somebody, or you weren't talking about somebody in real life, like a person, like one of the people in your staff? You just kind of said the word.
Yeah. I think it just matters, man. It doesn't even matter. A white woman should never be saying that. She says, I don't care. I don't want to hear that from anybody that whose ancestors used it against us.
Mm.
I even correct my students who are African American when they say it, because Charles Barkley said it years ago on Inside the NBA. We use it, like we use it. It's, what's the word he said? I can't figure the word out, but we use it amongst ourselves, with love, with humor. But anybody else that's not us, it will be deemed inappropriate. And the thing is, and we can flip it a little bit. Years ago, it was some coworkers, and one of the coworkers used the F word, the derogatory word for homosexuals.
Right.
And one of my other coworkers said, "Oh, you can't use that word anymore." Coworker was like, "When did that happen?" Wait, grew up in the 80s and 90s. What?
Right.
But
right.
I mean, that's just how it is. Like, you use that word, and what's the dude from Grey's Anatomy all those years ago, like 15, 20 years ago? The black dude from Grey's Anatomy said that. And when was the last time we saw him on TV?
Right. Yeah, no, it's
you know what I'm saying?
Big hit, yeah.
Yeah, and hey, listen, we grew up together. We know. I bet you like that. Yeah. And as you grow and as the climate changes, you have to adjust. You have to adjust your words. You have to adjust the way you think. And I'm not saying it's better, because don't get me started on the homosexual and the African American. We don't have the same story. I'm not comparing that.
Right.
But I'm just comparing the climate. Like, if we can't say that, you can't say that. And no one should be saying it. You live and learn. I'm the homosexual who everybody, Jesus, we love the love of Jesus. We hate no man, woman, boy, or girl. I would get in a very heated debate if they try to compare their struggle with ours.
Right.
It would be a heated debate, because one thing, you can hide that, and people do hide it.
Yeah,
we can't hide this.
Right.
And it goes. I mean, the whole history of this country was the foundation of us being called that, us being degraded, us being killed, slaughtered, bred, disrespected. So you can't. No one can. Only other group that can say something about that is Moses and them in the Bible. When the Israelites were slaves to the Egyptians. So it's you just gotta watch it nowadays. It's tough. It's tough because how the culture in your house. Sometimes you got to leave the culture in your house at home. How you speak, you got to leave it at the house.
And you said one of the things that I always say, because I've heard this over and over again. You hear the businesses all the time. You hear people talk about, I want to bring my whole self to work. They're like, nah, dog, you don't need to be bringing your whole self to work. That should not be the idea. That's craziness. But I'm gonna go back to the story a little bit. All right. So she said the N-word. She got her show canceled. Do you have a problem with the fact that somebody out here is a snake? That they held this video. She said, delete the video. All right. This was a mistake coming out of my mouth, delete the video. All of us have those moments where we come out and we might say something wrong or do something wrong.
Yeah.
And somebody just held that video and then decided, I'm going to ruin your career. Now, here's the silly part about it. It must have been somebody who got fired, because this is your show. Because whoever was there was a part of the staff.
Yes,
and
right.
we recorded it. So somebody says the N-word, you hold the video for months and months and months until the show is getting ready to air, and then you're like, gotcha. Do you have a problem with somebody kind of snaking the whole situation like that? Because here's the thing. I know we're talking about the N-word, we're talking about the fact that the show got canceled. But you got Carlos over here, who works on the staff. That's how he get his paycheck and feed his family. You got Cynthia over here is on the staff. That's how she get her paycheck and feed her family. You didn't just get her. You got everybody because of, if it is, one mistake. Now, if she's just a terrible person, you were just trying to get her out of the way. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
But do you got a problem with somebody doing that? Because you're not just taking out one person, you're taking out everybody. Should you just, if somebody said the N-word by mistake and around you, are you going to pull them to the side and have a conversation with them, or are you going to try to put them on blast in the whole world and ruin everybody's part?
Yeah, I mean that vindictive type behavior is frowned upon with me. But again, we don't know the context. You know, the person that held it could have been a African American. You know, it could have been the producer, it could have been the cameraman, it could have been somebody that was an African American that was like, nah, she's not getting away with this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same. You can use it for any group, like any group, any subgroup that felt or feels offended with something like that. It's a vindictive situation, but at the same time, we don't want a person like that, you know, that spirit out there, you know. But it does feel vindictive. I just I don't dig the vindictive type behavior, because if it, of course we don't know, but what if it could have been an African American, it could have been somebody that got fired, it could have been somebody that just, she, probably said something really foul to them or about them, and they were just being vindictive. It might not even have had anything to do with the slur being used in such a nasty way or whatever. So, it's, some things God works in mysterious ways. Like, what's in the dark will come to the light. So it's a situation where she probably had this behavior all the time off camera. And somebody probably was fed up with it, or it was just her time.
Now I'm gonna tell you, if I was on the staff and I'm on the show and we making money, and I don't care who it is, black, white, yellow, I'm gonna be a little tight with you. Like,
yeah,
you could have handled this behind the scenes. Like, we could have all got a bump and pay, and pulled her to the side. You ruined that. You like, look, you know how hard it is to find jobs around here nowadays.
Yeah,
man, boy, I'd have been hot. All right, well, we go to one of the comments. Exactly who determined that the N word? This is the hard R, not the GGA.
yeah. R
was a derogatory word. The negative terms used against homosexuals have been refined and embraced by the community. Queer, they embrace. I ain't gonna say it, but they embrace so on and so on. They say their own words. As blacks, we need to learn to define ourselves. And without throwing there is women. Women call each other the B word all the time. So yeah, it does. Who determines who determines when it's bad and when it's good and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta sometimes, this is a Christian show, you gotta figure out what, kind of what does the word say? We don't want to offend anybody. So if it's something offensive, we need to put in practice not to use it even when we're amongst ourselves. I have changed my wording on saying things, because you get so used to the culture around your buddies, around your friends, around your frat brothers. You were in HBCU band. I was in HBCU band. The words fly. Yes. And they fly. Like all kinds of things. Some things I just shouldn't repeat that I heard. But you have that culture, and then sometimes that goes, like you'll be in Food Lion and end up being on a phone call on your AirPods and end up going back to what happened in 1999, and you start talking like that, and you might offend somebody in the checkout line. You might offend, if you're in the car and you're having a conversation, the Bluetooth in the car can be really loud on the person next to you at the stoplight. and the person on the phone can say something like that, and you might offend somebody beside you. It doesn't matter if they're African American, Hispanic, homosexual, Jew. If you say something that offends somebody, it needs to be put in practice that you don't use it. And I've been guilty of it. Everybody's been guilty of something. But we have to put in practice not to say these things at home. I mean, with kids, you don't want to say those things around your kids. I see kids every day that talk like that.
Right.
And they don't learn it. They learn a lot online, but a lot of that stuff they learn from their parents. So you gotta say, don't say the F word talking about a group in front of your kids, because they're gonna go to school and do it. Don't say the N word in front of your kids, because they're gonna go to school and do it. And they don't really know it's offensive.
Right. They don't really know what it means. Right. So let me ask you this. So we're going to leaning on our faith a little bit, redemption, being able to come back from some situations like this. So I don't know if you remember Paula Deen.
Yes, indeed.
The white cook who cooked with all butter. Very unhealthy.
Very goodness.
But Black people love some Paula Deen.
Yeah.
And an employee of hers, a former employee of hers, sued her and said that she used to use racially insensitive words, offensive words. The N-word. Now, she copped up too. She was like, I had back in the past, but I'm from the South. We all used to use it in company of one another. Now, you know just as well as I know, there are some certain Black people who they use the word to mean them and all their friends. And they will let white people call it to them, and they will call white people certain people do have that little moment. Whatever. I'm gonna take Paula Deen for her word and say that's what it was doing. This individual might have been out here trying to get some money because it was from a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And they sued. There's a difference between I'm suing you and I'm what this person did, where they just tried to get them taken off there. But Paula Deen lost her show, but now she came back. She got a new show on She's on the Food Network. Black people still like her, unless you're trying to be healthy. Because if you are, you better cook somewhere different. But Black people still like her. A lot of Black people have forgiven her. I don't have no beef with Paula Deen personally. If I seen her, I'd be like, "Hey man, it looked like you done fixed your situation." Where do you? And
your biscuits are delicious.
Right. Where do you come down on forgiveness? And for like this girl, if she truly just said it and it wasn't like some malicious thing, would you be okay with her getting another show? Of course, it's not gonna be on HGTV, but what's the other channel? I can't even think of it. But if she gets on one of these other channels, or she's able to do stuff online, where do you come down on? Should we give her another opportunity? And I know the answer probably will be yes. How long should it be before we accept her comeback?
It shouldn't be immediate. Definitely shouldn't be immediate. Because when you have, forgiveness is divine. That's what the Lord said do. If you don't forgive, why would I forgive you? It's like we can't hold on to things. That's not healthy. But at the same time, there has to be a time for self-reflection, understanding, education. It's like when a kid got in trouble today, for using the cell phone too many times. And if I didn't reprimand that student, and then, if I took the phone, confiscated the phone, and gave it back literally the next block or the next day, not next day, but like the next hour, the lesson wouldn't be learned. So I kept it for the rest. We keep the phone for the rest of the day. If I take your phone, these kids are addicted. They literally are addicted to their phones. Right. You take their phone for a whole day from 8 o'clock to 2, they are bugging out. Like they're bugging out. Right. And if I took the phone at 8 o'clock and gave it back at 8:45, that phone's going to be right back out. So you have to learn. You have to have a process of time to reflect on what you did, learn from what you did, and do better. because when forgiveness can happen, like I'm not mad at her. Like I'm disappointed. I don't really know the show, but it's disappointing that somebody that has had that clout and that not wealth of knowledge that actually helps people did that. But at the same time, I mean, how many times did Jesus forgive me for the things I did, said, and thought?
Right.
I'm not walking around here thinking I'm perfect, because the only one that was and is perfect sits at the right hand of at the throne of grace. So I don't mind forgiveness, but it has to be a time. It has to be reflection for your wrongdoing, and it'll come.
Yeah. I agree. Another comment. Your presence, believe it or not, can be offensive to some. When I was in high school, there were some who were offended just by my presence. Yeah. Give me some thoughts.
Yeah. And I know that's coming from Pastor Watkins, and Pastor Watkins and my mom and dad, Miss Watkins, like they grew up in that era where you walk down the street, you're offending somebody that doesn't look like you, existing. Like some people are offended by your existence, and it's unfortunate, but again, all these things are taught.
Right.
If I'm offended by your existence, somebody that influenced me was offended by your presence, and I learned that racism is a learned behavior. Bigotry is a learned behavior. And the thing is, the beautiful thing about love is immediate. Love is an instinct. Is an instinct. Soon as a baby is born, they cling to their mother. Soon as the baby comes out of the womb, the mother clings to the child, unless they have something seriously wrong with them. So, like, love is an action and love is an instinct, and bigotry and racism is learned. Nobody comes out the womb saying, I hate all. Nobody comes out the womb doing that. It's taught. I mean, the most beautiful thing is if you put, if you get kids that are 3 or 4 years old, even probably up to 5, African American, Asian American, Asian, Jew, like it can be anybody from any parts of the world, African, Nigerian. You can go to any part of the continent of Africa. You can go to India. You can go to the Middle East, and you can go to Iran, Turkey. You can go to Greenland. You can go to Germany. It doesn't matter. You go to Mexico, Colombia, and you put all those children in a room. They are going to have a blast.
Right. Yep.
I'm talking about you're going to see so much fun. Like I'm talking about all you need is a DJ, Coco Melon, and juice boxes.
Right.
And you're going to have one of the most serious parties you'll ever see. But
and they don't even. And the point that you're making is really good, because at the end of the day, they don't even have to know each other's language. They can talk each other.
No, it's like birds and animals. They know what's going on. Like they know, hey, we need to make a nest. Okay, like they don't talk that out. They just do it. It's instinct. And if those 3 or 4 year olds, if you add 20 years to all of their ages, it will instantly change.
Yeah.
That party would be some would still party, but some would probably be a little standoffish and a little weird.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a learned behavior. We have one more comment. Then we had our time. So the Karens are offended by certain people's presence. That's absolutely right. I mean, we all know about how they get down. So thank you for coming. Thank you for giving some insight on this topic. It's an unfortunate situation for not just her, but her family, and then all of the other families who were affected financially, or even it may have been somebody's dream to be a producer on the show, and that show.
Yeah.
But you did see your stuff. You did it to yourself. Like, hey man, don't use the word, man.
Don't use the word, man. Don't offend people, man. Don't offend people. Like, if it's a word that can offend somebody, just take it out of your vocabulary. At least at minimum, take it out your vocabulary when you leave the house.
Exactly. Yeah. You can say it all you want.
Yeah.
Yes. Real quick, some heavyweights have passed recently this year. One that I just became more familiar with recently was Gladys West. She invented the GPS. Black woman invented the GPS. Mm-hmm. King Salam, I don't know how to say his name. Kalfani. He was the executive director of the NAACP here in Virginia. Did a lot of great things, especially for the HBCUs. Got some money when they were being discriminated against. Norfolk State, Virginia State got millions of dollars when they were being discriminated against by the state of Virginia. One of the biggest ones, Reverend Jesse Jackson, one of the first major Black person to go for the Democratic nomination. Now there were some other people. Don't forget Shirley Chisholm and some others, but he really had a significant chance to get the nomination. Also did some amazing things. Like, it was funny. I was telling my son about it today. He went and was able to negotiate the release of hostages. Like that. And my son, it blew his mind. He was like, "What? You must be a bad man to be able to release some hostages." Yes, he is. And so Jesse Jackson
didn't even have to use a gun or any secret world codes. He just went on the plane and went over there.
Right. And look, and let's keep it real. Black dude. So I know when they came over, they're like, "Oh, a black dude from the US, they don't even respect you." So what? So you must have been saying some great stuff.
Yeah.
And then last, but not least, Demond Wilson just passed away.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who that is Lamont from Sanford & Son. Mm-hmm. And like I know, that big impact on our lives.
Boy, oh boy.
Shows ever. And so, rest in peace to all of those who passed away. And let's keep their memory up here. Lamont won't have a problem because he will constantly be on TV. But we got to make sure that we remember to tell these kids and these young people about those who paved the way and did so much in civil rights.
Without a doubt.
And so, all right. Steve, thank you again. I know we ran a little bit long. Thank everybody. Thank the comments that came in. Again, we'll be here next week. Same time, same place as they say. Just a reminder: Thursday. It's our weekly Bible study at 7:00, same place. Sunday, worship service 10:00, and on Tuesdays at 7 through 7:45, we have a time of prayer. Don't forget Jesse shook your hand when he was running for president in 1984. I do remember Jesse Jackson being around, and yes, I didn't remember I got my hand shook, and I remember having
I remember. Well, I don't know. Hey, Rev, let me know if it was outside. We were at 5th Street. It was outside. Mm-hmm. It was like a little stage, and it was like, I think it was like spring or summer, and he was out there, and it was like, I don't know if it was a park or something, but I remember that day. I remember, we didn't know the impact. We knew who he was, but we didn't know who he was until, of course, years later when we were of age. Right. But good gracious, Rev, was it 84? Man, I was.
Outside of Virginia Union.
That's where it was. It was at Union.
The Union, and I remember having the Jesse Jackson button. Back in the day, everybody had buttons that you would put on. I wore it to school. The Jesse Jackson button out, man.
I am somebody.
Yeah.
Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
And so look, was that really 84?
Yeah, 84. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember that. That is a memory I have.
But as I say, it's on us. It's on us now. It is our responsibility to make sure that the next generation knows about the impact of the people that came before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that, like I told myself, this is not a tragedy. You know, Jesse Jackson was not a young man under 80s.
He was 89.
But at the same time, it is a significant loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we just got to make sure we tell them stories. We got to tell those stories.
He
let people
was
know.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh, the original, like I say to my son, like, that's the original Barack Obama.
Yeah, for real. He was. Hey, America wasn't. The United States weren't. They were not ready, but he was close. Like he.
Right.
Yeah. And that was the race. Was that Reagan?
Yes.
Reagan won that year?
Was that the first one?
It had to be the second one.
The second one. That was the second one. Yeah. That was his second. Yeah. That was his re-election year.
Bush was right after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like 89. 89.
89. Yeah, that's time frame.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey. All right. Well, thank you again. Thank everybody. Oh, he came in third. Yeah, he came in third. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. And as I say, have a good one.